Hey guys, it's Nemo, and welcome to the King George V Tier 7 battle. Now, this video is a little bit strange, as it was supposed to be just collecting footage for a montage. Just a devastating strike, or kills, or citadels, whatever. But it turned out to be really good. It was the first game of the night, and as you know from watching my channel, I don't really play battleships much, but I thought this was a pretty good game. So let's go through the King George V, which is one of my favourite battleships, and I actually have been playing her a lot lately. Enjoyable battleship, and just really good all-round ship. So what we want to do is, the first thing we do is we choose a cap. Now we go where there are less battleships or less ships. You want to sort of even your team out a little bit, so that's where I'm headed. I'm headed over towards the D cap there, and I can see it's being contested, and I know that because I can't see anything, there's a destroyer there, and then it pops up. That's the Sims right there. So we're going to go in, we're going to help out our masts. We have a 12.2 detection. That's what you want to do with a Royal Navy battleship. You want to help out, you get as close as you can, because you've got that really good surface detection. Okay, so we wait until the Sims has given us the target we want, and then we fire. We don't try to fire while there's a small target, especially with the poor dispersion of the King George V. Hasn't got the best dispersion at all. And then we set up here in this spot where we've got cover in front of us. As you can see, there's 3 other ships, or 4 ships including the destroyer, out there covering us. But here we can cover the cap, and we can still support the destroyer. We're close enough that we can still support our own destroyer, plus be effective in defending the cap against enemy cruisers and other battleships. So the reason I'm facing my ship here on a north-south plane is so that I can get all my guns firing, my armor is angled, and if I need to, I can get out of there as soon as I can. I can, instead of having to turn around and show broadside, I'm already in a position where I can run. Then I can, if I need to get close to the cap, I can just reverse back, and that's what you see me start doing. So this Dallas pops up, I pop the spotter plane. Now what you want to do when you hit the spotter plane is you want to aim a little bit higher than where you usually would. So the dispersion there, as I said, the dispersion is not very good. It sort of trolls me. The start of this game is a little bit slow, and I thought, you know, am I going to do any damage? Not that you should worry about damage, you should worry about completing the objectives. Now the reason I didn't fire here, can you see the little mountain on my reticule there? That's why I didn't fire at the Sims, because I just hit the mountain there. As you can see, there's that mountain right in front of me, so it's giving me some good cover. I'm not spotted, but my team is spotting for me, and I can just free fire on all these other ships. Now I turn my attention back to the Sims, because the Sims is priority target number 1. Why he's firing in the open like gunboating, I don't know why. It's not something I recommend in the destroyer. I play a lot of destroyers and cruisers. If you watch my channel, you see that all the time. Your job is to spot in the cap. Don't go out there firing open like that. So we pick off the next target that we need to get rid of, and that's the radar cruiser. As you can see, I'm reversing. I am detected, so I'm angling that my stern a little bit more. As you can see, there's the Leon over there. I get fired on by the Congo, but the Leon is more dangerous than the Congo, so I angle my armor to the Leon there. Shots out on the Dallas, and there's our first kill. And that's what I was looking for a montage video, that type of thing. Not very well armoured, the Dallas. Your guns in the King George are going to overmatch the Dallas's armour easily. So gave it a little bit of a shot there and ruined his day, ruined his game. As you can see though, our team is winning quite well, and you know what, we haven't had to move yet to defend our cap, and that's sort of what you want to do. You don't want to be stationary but too far away. If you're going to be stationary or jockeying back and forth, as you can see I'm doing here, you just want to be close enough that you've got ships in front of you to sort of protect you, but then you can do large amounts of damage like that. Tier 7 battleship versus Tier 5. It's a no-brainer. The Tier 7 is going to win it hands down any day. So I'll keep looking at the Congo here. He is giving me the better shot than the Leon. So I'll switch to the high explosive because he is angled a little bit, and then just as he comes along and he turns a little bit more, so I could have probably used armor piercing, but high explosive does the job, causes 2 fires, and smartly he hasn't put them out yet. It's either smartly he hasn't put them out, or his damage control is on cooldown. So the bigger threat here was the Leon. I probably should have gone for the Leon there, but I put shots out on the Congo still. I just wanted to give him a little bit of salt into that wound, burning there, and we managed to do so, which was a really good shot. So by this time of the game, I'm really enjoying myself, which is good because I don't really enjoy battleships that often. I find the fire rate too slow, and that's why I don't fire that much. So there, let's tap in the M key just to get a bit of an idea of where the Leon's going to be. Congo burns to death, and that's our second kill. So all missed and 1 bounce on the Leon there. So not a great shot. Sort of, if I aimed a little bit higher, I probably could have hit the weak part above the armor belt. Cruiser spam coming in from behind me. But you're in a battleship. You don't need to worry about the cruiser spam every now and then. You need to get rid of a 16-gun battleship. So as you can see, I'm angling a little bit more away from the Leon as he's coming around. And then I realised that the Indianapolis is still going to be able to give my ships trouble. He's the radar cruiser. So after switching to high explosive, I've gone back to armor piercing, and I'm going to look at hitting that radar cruiser, because even though there's no destroyers, he can still light up the rest of your team with his radar for his battleships or anyone else who's flanking you. So even though there's no destroyers, a radar ship can still be an extremely effective ship against the rest of your team, just for that little bit of advantage that they can give. So we start moving forward now as we're getting flanked. We don't want to get stuck in a crossfire, so move forward, keep the armor angled, head back towards the Leon. Leon ducks in behind cover. As you can see, he's coming in the island there. So what I thought was, well, if he's going to be in there, I'm not going to waste my shot. I'll go back to this Indianapolis. So I'll pop the spotter plane, rotate the ship a bit, aim up a little bit from where I think he's going to be, and it turns out that it was a good shot. And yeah, I love that sound. The sound of a ship going down. It's awesome. So that's third kill. So I thought I was going pretty good at this stage, and then I thought, oh, you know what, better turn back to the Leon. He's the closest, he's the biggest threat. He's going to start taking on my cruisers and causing them damage, especially the Omaha in front of me. He's not going to last too much longer, I'd suspect. And I snagged the kill. He wasn't angled that much that he could defend it. He was just giving me enough broadside that I could punch through and overmatch that armor, which was really good. So now I've noticed that there's 2 ships still out on the flank there. We still haven't got this cap, but as you can see on the other side, my team is pushing around, so the pressure is really on, and 3 ships to go. This video could have made it into the series that I do, the when the team works. So for me to make a video of when the team works, it has to be 3 or less of our ships die in a game that's just a raffle stomp pretty much. So the Emil and the Ganai here, the Ganai is obviously the bigger threat, even though I think that the Emil could probably do more damage because he can constantly fire. The Ganai's dispersion is disgusting. You think that sometimes the King George has bad dispersion. Well, the Ganai's got the worst. Worst dispersion of tier 7 battleships, plus it has the least guns. Not a ship that I really enjoyed, even though I have a 52% win rate in the Ganai. Not the best win rate, but for someone who doesn't like battleships, and it's the Ganais now, not too bad. So we switch our fire here to the Emil because the Ganai's gone behind the island. There's our Confederate, which is good. It's always good to get achievements. And then I go for the Kraken here, try to poach myself a Kraken. And even though the shots look good and an overpen would have done him easy, somebody gets it before me. And I was like, oh, come on. So, not too bad of a game there. I actually enjoyed that King George game. Let's have a look at the post-game screen and see how that looks. 109,000, you could sort of, you can't really round that up, can't you? It's 109,000, it's not too bad. 4 kills, pretty good base experience there. A Confederate medal. It's always good getting, as I said, always good getting those achievements, whether it's Confederate, high caliber, Kraken. Did some good damage, really gave it to that Congo, which was good. And made some pretty good credits for a silver ship. Anyway, let's have a look at our skills and modules. Now on the King George, or any ship really, you want to be running premium consumables. We're going to go with the upgrades. So upgrade 1 is main armaments mod 1. You want your main battery to survive as much as it can, and if it does get knocked out, you need that repair time a little bit faster. Spotting aircraft 1 and damage mod 1s in the first slot would also be handy, but because they come in super containers, we're not going to worry about them. We're just going to go with the 3 stock options. In slot 2, we're going to run damage control system mods 1. You take a lot of fire damage, so you want those fires to be put out as quick as possible. Number 3, we're going to run the aiming systems mod. The dispersion isn't very good on the King George, and in some of those shots that we fired in the battle there, you can see that it's not that good. It can be very good, but the aiming systems you want to put on there so that you can guarantee that you're going to get at least a good shot or a couple of good shots off during a battle. Secondary battery, you're not going to really build a secondary battery on a British battleship. If you do, it's just for the shits and gigs. AA mods could be viable because the AA defense is 57. If you put the AA on it, it gets up into the 50s, which is pretty good. And main battery, I don't run the main battery because I don't think that I should be taking longer to reload just to get my turrets around a little bit quicker. So the aiming systems for me is definitely the one that I would run. And then damage control system mod 2, you're not going to be in smokes as much with the propulsion mod, so I wouldn't be worrying about it. And steering gears, I wouldn't really be worrying about it either. You're sort of you're not way at the back of the map. You're more of a big gunned cruiser is what you want to think about when you're playing the King George. You want to sort of stay in range, that 12.2 range that your concealment is, and support your destroyers and your cruisers. You don't really want to hang around the back of the map. Just get in there and tank a little bit. Yes, fire damage can be annoying, but with all these modifications you can handle it pretty well. So again, we run the damage control system too because we want to get rid of as many fires as we can. So captain skills. Now I've only got a 13-point captain, but I'll run through 19 points that I'm going to run. First skill is priority target. We want to know how many people are firing at us. AR for a battleship. Battleship caliber guns, the less health you have, the better, the more you can pump out of those bigger guns. Now, King George, remember, only has 14-inch guns, so at its tier, I think most of the ships at its tier have around 15-inch guns, but 14-inch guns, when you can fire them a little bit quicker, is not too bad. It's not like the Scharnhorst, who has the 11-inch guns, who fires every 20 seconds with that really poor dispersion, but that's a premium ship, so we're not really worried about that too much. The next skill I run is the Demolition Expert. Why? Well, let's make our fire chance even greater. It already causes a lot of fires, let's make more. I run the Concealment Expert to get that Captain skill to down, plus the camos gives you 12.2, so you're quite a stealthy battleship, which is really good. Then the next 3 points I ran Basics of Survivability again, so we can get rid of that fire as much as we can. And then the last 6 points that I will be using will be the Fire Prevention, so we take away as many fires on the ship that we can. Instead of burning with 4, we can only get 3, which is handy. And then High Alert, so we want to reduce the time that the damage repair control party is down, because if we do get put on fire, we want to be able to pump that button as quick as we can. So that would be my 19 points for the King George. That'll likely be my 19 points for the Monarch as well. I will be running the same captain on the Monarch all the way up to the Conqueror, so it does make it handy. You can survive a lot better, which is good, especially in a meta where there's so many high explosive spamming cruisers out there, and even destroyers can set you on fire a lot. I mean, you have a look at the new Haragumo and Kitakaze, and the King George unfortunately can face the Kitakaze, and it can set you on fire quite easily with its amount, the rate of fire that it pops out. Anyway guys, hope this video was helpful, useful, and you get something out of it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.